4 years in, a Saturday. He'd been off for a couple of days, not upset, just quieter, a bit slower, answering a little late. So at breakfast you asked, "Are you okay? You seem stressed." 8 words. He said, "Yeah, I'm fine, just work." And then he was gone for 6 hours. Not gone, he was right there. He mowed the lawn. He asked if you needed anything from the shop, and he went and he came back with the right things. He answered every question you asked him. He was polite. And there was nobody in the house. He couldn't have explained it to anyone. Try it, say it out loud to a friend. He told me he was fine, and then he cut the grass. Watch her face, hear how it sounds. That's the part nobody prepares you for. It isn't the fighting, it's that the thing hollowing you out is unreportable. By 2 p.m, he was back. No conversation, no repair, no apology. He just came back the way weather comes back. And you built the theory. You've been building it for 4 years. He was punishing me for asking. That theory is the most reasonable thing you own. Every fact you have supports it. It's also wrong. He heard the question. Here is what it actually asked him, not "How's work?" It asked him to look inside himself, find a state, and hand it to you. That is the one operation he does not have. He is not unable to feel. He is not unable to talk. He is not unable to comfort. If you had been the one struggling that morning, he would have been good at it, steady, practical. He'd have driven you anywhere you needed to go. The thing that doesn't work is narrow. It is showing you what he needs. So the question landed, and something fired, fast, before any of it reached the part of him that decides things. That mechanism has one job: make sure nothing shows. And here's the part that isn't obvious. The surest way to show nothing is to have nothing to show. So it doesn't block the answer. It takes the reading apparatus offline first. Which means that by the time you opened his mouth, "I'm fine" was true. He checked. He got nothing. He reported nothing. It isn't a lie. It's a reading taken after the instrument was switched off. Then the state stays, not for 11 minutes, for hours. He's running at 20%, and 20% covers the lawn, the shop, the polite answers. It covers everything except the one thing you asked for. And you cannot see it. Nobody at that shop saw a man in trouble. His friends would tell you he's the most level guy they know. That's the strategy working. A strategy that showed would be a failed strategy. Now the hard part. He doesn't know it's happening. He isn't tracking what those 6 hours are doing to you. He isn't waiting to see if you break. He couldn't tell you what time it started or that it started. Ask him on Sunday about Saturday and he'll say it was a normal day. He won't be managing you. It was a normal day. From the kitchen, that morning has a target. From inside him, there was no morning. I don't know which of those is worse. So where does that come from? A house. And that house, showing what he needed, didn't pay. Not every time. That's what makes it work. Often enough. Sometimes it cost him. More often it cost nothing and produced nothing. He'd show it, it would land in the room, and the room would carry on. A child can survive being told no. What he can't do is keep producing needs that nobody ever collects. So the showing stopped, and things got easier.
That's the whole event. There's no scene. If you go looking for the memory that broke him, you won't find one, because nothing broke. Something calibrated, correctly, over years, in a house that looked fine from the street. And it worked. In that house, a boy who stopped showing what he needed was better off than a boy who showed. He wasn't damaged. He was right. Now, this answers the question you have actually been asking for 4 years, and it isn't the one you think you're asking. The first 6 months were real. He wasn't performing, he wasn't lying, he wasn't running a script that ran out. You have gone over those months 1,000 times looking for the tell, and there is no tell because nothing was being hidden. This mechanism is not a personality. It only runs inside one kind of relationship, and at the start you weren't one yet. Nothing was at stake. He was never once asked to need you. So you got him, the actual him, with the whole thing switched off. The wall didn't go up when he stopped loving you. It went up when it started to count. That's why it arrived exactly when things got good. That's why it makes no sense from outside. You read it as the month he checked out. It was the month he arrived. Now your half. You won't like it. At 11 you asked again, "Are you sure you're okay?" Of course you did. But look at what that does. The mechanism fires when he's asked to show. So the second question never reaches the man. It reaches the mechanism, and it tells it to hold. Every time you checked, you extended the 6 hours. You made him more absent by needing him more. Not because you were irrational, because you were right, and because asking is precisely the input this thing was built to answer. That's the machine. He can show, so you ask. You ask, so the showing shuts harder. Neither of you built it. And no, you weren't like this 4 years ago. That's true, and it isn't the contradiction it sounds like. That's another video. Now, everything I've said assumes something that is not always true, and I'm not going to pretend otherwise. Some of this is aimed. There's a version that isn't a man at 20%. It's a man using something that works. From the kitchen it looks the same. It isn't, and you can test it. Not by what he says about it, by how it behaves. It responds to leverage. It ends when you concede and starts again when you don't. There's a switch, and the switch is you. He tracks it. He knows how long it's been. The version I just described has no clock in it. He can't even tell you it happened. It's legislative. Never at work. Never with his mother. Never with anyone whose leverage he needs. It comes with a bill. When it ends, there's a price. An apology owed. A rule. A concession. And the sentence nobody in this field will say to you. Both can be true at once. He can be genuinely unable to show you anything, and those 6 hours can still be doing coercive work in your house. What is happening inside him does not decide what is happening to you. One more thing about that Saturday. Some of you have read all of this from the kitchen, and some of you stopped a few minutes ago. Because you know what it is to be asked if you're okay, and hear yourself say fine, and know as it leaves your mouth that it's the wrong size, and not be able to find the thing that would have been right. You were never in the kitchen. You were mowing the lawn. Here's what I can't offer you. This doesn't fix it. Knowing why it fires does not switch it off. Next Saturday, 4 years from now, someone will ask him if he's okay, and he will say fine and mean it, and 6 hours will go somewhere. Nobody has ever argued that mechanism out of running. He doesn't improve because you read him correctly. What changes is smaller, and it's the only thing on offer. Those 6 hours stop being about you. They were never a measurement of your worth or of what he felt or of whether you were loved that morning. They were a reading from a house you have never seen, where a boy worked out that showing what he needed cost more than it gave back. And he was right. You don't get the answer. You don't get Saturday back. You get to stop looking for the tell. That's the whole offer. It isn't much. It's the first true thing anyone has told you about that morning.